Hey everybody, ArtzyDude here. Welcome again to the art studio somewhere here in the great United States of America. It's the place where creativity is more important than knowledge. But the acquisition of great knowledge, it's in art form for sure. Hey, a quick shout out to C.W. Chanter. He had thrown my name out there on his last live chat, his Google Hangout, and he was talking about having people come and check out my channel. I appreciate that. He did mention too that we don't always agree on content, or we don't always agree on philosophical discussions, but I would have to say to him that we probably agree on a lot more than he thinks. I enjoy watching his channel. He's got a good following, and he's very articulate. So if you get a chance, check out C.W. Chanter and enjoy his content. He's got some good stuff. So recently, I was watching the videos by Chris, the A-lister in Hollywood, and he did a couple of compendiums, I guess, volume 2 and 3, where he's walking out into nature and he's having a discussion about his experiences with orbs and spiritual beings and light beings and things of that sort. And I just found that so interesting and so fascinating. You know, my heart goes out to him. As I listened to his content and what his story was about in these last 2 videos that he's posted, I thought to myself, you know, I looked at my hands and I looked at the space around me and I was trying to envision what he has seen and what he's been experiencing. And you know, it really makes you wonder. It's why was he given that gift? And even he'll say that. He'll say, you know, I have no idea why I was given this gift. But he has a unique way of explaining his story. He's very down to earth, and I believe him. However, you know, if he was pulling my leg and pulling everybody's leg out there in the YouTube land, it wouldn't be the first time, nor will it be the last time. But I do believe him. I think he's sincere, and my heart goes out to him. And I do believe that we are all connected in some way, and that the message is getting out there. You know, we're all getting the message. If you think about the movie from James Cameron, Avatar, and how they talked about everything was connected on that planet, you know, through the root systems, and how everything was connected. Well, think about that storyline for a minute. Where did that storyline come from? Where did James Cameron get that storyline? Was it presented to him by somebody else? Was that a larger storyline in our planet's evolutionary history, or our evolutionary track, where we're headed? Like, where do these ideas come from? And now, as Chris said, you know, we're all connected, and I believe that. I believe that if you step on an ant, you know, that's a creature that's alive. Now, you can do it inadvertently. Sure, we do it every day probably, walk on bugs. But think about this. If you consciously step on, let's say, an insect to kill it consciously, you're killing something that we're all connected to. But what if, as I said a minute ago, we probably step on insects all day long as we walk down city streets and things of that sort. But what if, no one's ever done a study for this, but what if we really don't step on insects? What if the insects themselves are somehow consciously related to us in some way, that as thousands of people walk down the city streets, they know somehow just where to walk and when to walk so that they're not stepped on. And I say this only because if you ever watch an ant or an insect on the ground, they're very erratic. They go this way, and then they go that way, and then they stop, and they go this way, and then they go that way, and then they stop. And why do they do that? Are they programmed that way? Are we all programmed somehow to interact with each other, and that if we just lived by our heart and our consciousness, we would all be safe and we would take care of each other? I don't know. That's a pretty deep thought. I'm sure we probably step on insects all day long as we walk down the streets. But my point being, I believe what Chris, our Hollywood A-lister, is espousing. in that we are connected. There's a bigger picture here. Who knows what he's seeing? You know, I mean, at first I thought, well, maybe he's got some sort of cerebral, hemorrhage or something. It's forcing him to see certain things. You know, we've heard about those types of things where people have a cerebral hemorrhage or a stroke or something, and they come back and they're not the same personality that they were, or they see things and nobody can explain it. So, at first I thought about that, and then I thought, well, is he seeing something evil, as it were? Was it something nefarious, as it goes? But I don't believe that. He believes that everything he's experiencing is about love and consciousness and togetherness, and somehow about the earth, about all of us coming together. Now, I've always believed that what if the earth itself is a living entity, which we've all talked about Mother Earth being alive, and we're just like fleas living on the back of a dog here on the earth. But what if all planets are consciousness? In other words, what if all planets are alive and that can interact with each other? And what if these things that we see in the skies, UFOs and UAPs and whatever, are here to help mend this world? Maybe they're like the Earth's white blood cells that are coming to help heal her. Maybe she's sick, right? And they're coming to help heal her. That's another deep thought, kind of out there, right? But who knows? I sometimes believe the air itself, as Chris had mentioned, what we swim through every day, this air, this atmosphere, is alive. That space itself is a consciousness. It's alive. That everything that we live in is alive, a living thing. We're all connected through this sort of soup of electromagnetism, of consciousness. Who knows what it is? It's exciting. It's an exciting time to be alive, for sure. Things are happening. Things are happening all over the world. And one of the things that's helped me to focus on consciousness and that we're all connected, whether insects or animals or our fellow human brothers and sisters, or the galactic brothers and sisters that are visiting us. We're all connected. But one of the things that's helped me to sort of focus on that is I've turned off the TV. I've turned off the mindless news shows that every 5 minutes they're talking about this or that, or trying to scare you, or they're talking about all of the bad things in the world. I've turned off a lot of the TV shows I used to watch that are just mindless TV. I mean, if I watch something now, I put something into my brain now, it has to mean something. It has to have meaning. So if I watch a nature show, if I watch Nova, or if I watch, some channel on one of the Earth channels, or that's dealing with space and time or consciousness or the earth, or some greater sense than the typical TV shows of this serial comedic or serial shows that are just sort of brainless TV. It's helped me, is what I'm saying. Now, it might not help anybody else, and everybody has to have a form of entertainment. I get that. And TV is a relatively cheap form of entertainment, so I get that. But maybe we should spend less time on our devices, on our phones and our TVs, and spend more time connecting with each other, looking at each other in the eyes, and having a conversation. Chris has said it time and time again that we're all connected. It's all about consciousness, and I believe that. I've seen a few things in my life. I've experienced a few things in my life. And I'm probably in the same age range that Chris is. And I'm halfway through my life, in the middle of my life. So I've got a lot of experience. But the thing I've never experienced are actual physical seeing UFOs or UAPs or the spiritual entities that Chris talks about. Now, to me, if that happened, and I'm sure he did at first too, I'd probably freak out for a minute and go, whoa, what is this? What am I looking at? What am I experiencing here? It probably makes you question your sanity when that happens. I don't know. It's never happened to me, but I believe it's happening to people around the world. I really do. How do we tap into that? Like, let's say this is really happening for Chris. How can he tap into that? How can he's trying to film it and he's not having much luck. So is there a way that he can consciously speak to these entities and say, look, we need to be able to record this and upload it for the world to see, sort of as a document, a proof of concept, a document that you are here and that you are trying to help us. You're trying to help us seek consciousness, a higher level. Is that one way he could tap into it? Or could he possibly, I don't know, could he possibly lead some sort of delegation somewhere and, have them meet at his home or something like that, where they actually appear and they're actually talking to him, but others as well, so it could be recorded for history's sake? I don't know. It's an interesting, ponderance, isn't it? So there's a lot of great videos out there that are talking about consciousness lately, which is, Grant Cameron's got a lot of stuff out there, alien protocols. C.W. Chanter talks about it, in his videos. And there's something coming to fruition here, to a head, to an apex, I think, at some point. And we just have to be open-minded about it and, use our hearts and our minds and think about it from the standpoint of love and peacefulness, It's like I wonder about this MMA, the fighting and everything, when you watch these MMA fighters. And I used to watch that all the time. I used to be into that kind of thing. But then I wonder, I get it that it's a sport and people like to do it, but why would we do that to each other? Why would we beat the shit out of each other for a trophy, or to say that you're the toughest guy in the world? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Does that really mean anything in the bigger picture? So you're the toughest guy in the world. You can beat up anybody in an octagon ring. What does that really mean? I mean, is that using this, your consciousness and your spirituality? Is it using your heart? I mean, yeah, we talk about athletes having heart. He's got heart. He ran a 100-yard touchdown. That boy's got heart. Well, what does that really mean? If we'd stop for a minute bashing each other's heads in and treating each other terribly on the roads and in social media, we might be better people all around. We might find that we really are connected, really connected, here, and connected in this soup of air and space, all around us. Who knows? But anyways, I'm rambling again, but that's what the ArtzyDude channel does. I just ramble. Listen, as I always close my shows, reach out to your animals and love them, pet them, treat them with respect, give them much love. They are stress sponges and they love you. I mean, they wait all day for you to walk through that door so they can see their master. So treat your animals good, your horses, your cats and dogs, whatever type of animal it is that you really love and that you have as a pet. Treat them well. Take care of your family and respect your family. Respect your elders especially. Listen to your mother and father, your aunts and uncles. They've been around a few more years than most of you, okay? If they're your aunts and uncles or your moms and dads, they've been around, they've experienced it. Listen to them. Don't think that you have all the answers. You're going to learn real quick that you don't. And even they don't have all the answers, but they've been around the block a few times. They understand life. And what they're telling you, what advice they're giving you, it's good for you. You know what I mean? They're trying to take care of you. They're trying to watch out for you. Okay? So listen to your parents. Listen to your elders. Respect your elders. Be like the Navajo. Be like the Blackfoot Indians. Respect your elders. Okay? Revere them. They're smart. Okay? What else? Just be kind to each other in social media. I mean, you see all of this on talk shows and like Jerry Springer shows, right? I mean, why do we need that kind of stuff? Why do we need people fighting and fisticuffs and throwing name calling at each other? I mean, that's just the lowest low that you can get. It's like even children, I mean, are smarter than that. And these are adults that are doing this. So let's be more kind to each other in social media. Can we? Can we agree to disagree and have discussions? As C.W. Chanter had mentioned, we might not always agree on philosophical differences or philosophical thoughts and theologies and things of that sort, but we can agree to disagree, and we probably have more in common, as I said, than we don't if we sat right down and compared notes. Anyways, be well, everybody. Much peace, and again, take care of everyone out there, one another, and we'll talk to you soon. ArtzyDude out.